So this one's a application.
Depends on what you got.
4/2023 at 5 p.m. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at large Demetrius.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, communication from the mayor.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to clear the air on articles that were in the paper regarding water. Apparently, one of the trustees in Fredonia board took offense to my comments. My comments were made as a result of the article that was in last week that claimed that the city was unable to provide water to the village or the university, and that is not correct. So we put a press release out to let the public know. When I say public, I'm not talking just city residents, I'm talking about the North County. Basically to let them know that the city is able, ready, and willing to provide water to the village and help them out. It was not about stealing their customers or anything like that. So I just want the council to know that this had nothing to do. I have a good relationship, or at least I believe I do, with the mayor of Fredonia, and I believe that I do with the rest of the board, at least I hope so. But again, the truth is the truth, and the bottom line is that the taxpayers here in the city of Dunkirk have spent about $25 million over the past 6 years on our water plant, and we are now able and ready and willing to provide water to the village. That's it.
I did see that article. Okay, discussion on communication from the public.
Number one, request from John Tofa on behalf of the First Ward Walking Club to close South Serval Street between Lakeshore Drive East and Chestnut Street on Saturday, September 2nd, 2023 and Sunday, September 3rd, 2023 from 6 p.m. until midnight for their annual Labor Day street dance.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Number two.
Loudspeaker permit request from John Tofa on behalf of the First Ward Walking Club to use sound system for live bands on Saturday, September 2nd, 2023 and Sunday, September 3rd, 2023 from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. for their annual Labor Day street dance.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Number three.
Number three, loudspeaker permit request from Maddie Whites on behalf of the Alzheimer's Association Western New York chapter to use speaker system with microphone at the Brooks Pavilion at Point Gratiot Park on Saturday, September 23rd, 2023 from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. for their Walk to End Alzheimer's event.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Number four.
Number four, loudspeaker permit request from Lou Fochetti on behalf of the Dunkirk Lakeside Club to use sound system for live bands from May 1st, 2023 to November 20th, 2023 from 1 p.m. until 1 a.m. Do have to note that that request said indoors and outdoors.
Any discussion, council?
Yeah, Councilman. Last year they were courteous enough and they did oblige a couple of the neighbors there and they moved their bandstand away from the houses. Could we ask Mr. Fochetti if he would do the same for this time whenever they have an outside?
Already taken care of.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Both of you.
Number five.
Number five, loudspeaker permit request from Michael McCarthy on behalf of the class of 1978 to use sound system for live entertainment at Cook's Pavilion at Point Gratiot Park on Saturday, July 1st, 2023 from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. for their 45th annual DHS class reunion.
Any discussion, council? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to summaries of standing committees, boards, and commissions. First Ward, Councilwoman?
Not here.
Okay. Councilman Baman?
Yes, Brian's here, he's only going to be here during the workshop, so if you have any direct questions for him. I just wondered when softball's going to be starting.
So we target date's going to be around Memorial Day weekend for fast and slow. I know a couple slow pitch teams have already reached out to me. Actually, we've been talking about this the past 5-6 years of having a women's fast pitch softball league, and a couple participants have reached out to me the past couple of weeks, so might set up a meeting for that, and newer program for that, for our softball, so.
And just on another note, personnel note, he's gonna need some seasonal people.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah, we actually, we touched on that at the personnel meeting. What was that, 2 weeks ago, a week ago? Yep, so that's on the radar.
I know the first tournament that was put in, I think May 15th is the first tournament. That's when the tournaments are starting. So we'll have one then, a couple in July. So yeah, definitely need some.
And you still got dates to fill up for tournaments?
Oh yes, yep.
Okay. And the other question I had, hockey over and all the activities?
Hockey's over right now. All the baseball, softball, youth travel teams are all done at our facility at the fairgrounds. And then AM Walk is the only program that's going on now. So.
Thanks, Brian.
Yes, go ahead.
There are some people that formed like a committee, and these are the people that are very much into the softball, and they wanted to meet with you and perhaps to have like a recreational committee meeting in order they can talk with you
Okay.
about the season.
Okay, no, that's a great idea.
Because I have some emails, we haven't heard from you, and I know
Yeah.
you're very busy.
Yes, I do
So
apologize for
if you
that.
could set a date, that would be
Okay.
great.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Stoll? Nothing. Councilwoman Nichols?
You do have enough staffing though that would get the fields ready for the May 15th softball, right? The tournaments?
No, I
No.
have nobody for
Okay.
that, for field maintenance.
Okay.
So,
Okay, let's move on to discussion of unfinished business. I don't think we have any.
No, sir?
Okay. Discussion on pre-filed resolution 19.
Resolution authorizing coastal landscape study for nature-based solutions.
Any discussion, council?
Just, Mr. D'Amico, we do have Cassie Pinkowski's here with Vince DeJoy. Maybe she could just take a couple minutes. It was addressed at the Finance Committee meeting, but I think it would be useful. She did stay and...
Please.
Go ahead.
Hey, I have to put out there again.
Yeah. So what this study is for is to start the engineering process for the federal funds that were secured for construction of some sort of breakwaters. This firm is going to look at it from the standpoint of both issues being the wave energy in the harbor and the lakefront boulevard, with the wave energy there too, to even see if maybe there's a way to address both in one sort of construction or to have it separate like was discussed before. This engineering firm is someone that DC is looking at to do assessments on Lake Erie as well, so this study will plug into that, and some other ones we're doing in the county at Barcelona and Hanford Sunset Bays. I'm trying to be as general as possible.
So I just want to also say that this study is completely funded by funds that are not local property tax funds. So we have grant money from New York State, from the New York Sea grants, $50,000 that was awarded last year that we're going to be utilizing a lion's share. And Cassie has helped to help cobble together some other funding sources through Lake Erie Management Commission and Lake Erie Watershed Protection Alliance and some of the 2% fed tax money where we've also applied for. And in addition, we're still waiting to hear if we will be awarded a grant from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration for $550,000 that we applied to last fall with Cassie's help and with our intern, put together a very, very compelling, I think, application, and should be able to get us almost to completion for all the engineering and design that we will need, and then hopefully we can begin the process of construction and permitting and construction with all the federal and state agencies that we have to work with to actually build these breakwaters that will be designed with both to protect the harbor and the lakefront, and also create a habitat-friendly, eco-friendly environment that will attract wildlife and game and fish and so forth, and birds. So it's all a win-win for us.
And it just for the record, this grant here and all this money that is going to be specifically just used for the Dunkirk area, just so that everything is and clear and everybody knows that it's not going to be going to
The other
Barcelona and the other ventures that it is going to, this company will be looking into as well.
Yep, and this, the amount that the city would contract with for the Dunkirk project is all money that we already have secured. With the expectation to do more engineering is gonna cost more, but right now we're committing to is what we already have in hand, basically.
Good, thank you. Okay, no other questions? Then let's move on to number 20.
Resolution authorizing 2XL youth boxing competition during Fired Up for Summer celebration.
Any discussion, council? We have Mr. Hall here. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, so this is, the reason why I came, I'm sure you guys might have some questions for this. This is a new event, an exciting event that I'm very excited for. We're partnering up with our 2XL local boxing gym, and I don't know if you're all familiar with boxing competitions, but they have them Rochester, Buffalo, all throughout New York State, all throughout the country. So these it's an amateur boxing match, ages 10 to 16, and they all are U.S. certified. So that's all, it's all sanctioned boxing matches, and it's gonna be held right on the pier. It's part of our Fired Up for Summer kickoff. So it's just new event. We're looking, the hours will be from 4 to 8 p.m. and we are looking to close off the pier earlier in the day so we can get the ring set up and stuff like that. So it's a cool, exciting new event.
How many matches are you planning with?
12.
Wow.
12, and so all the boxers from the 2XL are strictly all Dunkirk residents. So they'll be paired up, obviously, by weight, and age and stuff like that, gender. I know there's a couple female boxers there as well. So I know I'm excited. They're excited, and so everybody's very excited. So looking to have some fun. And like I said, it's a new event, and I've been brainstorming a million ideas for more youth events. And I have another one coming up. Obviously, look at do another resolution that we're gonna possibly have a basketball tournament in front of City Hall. So that's another event that we're looking into.
Any other questions for Mr. Hall?
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes, sir.
just wanted to just make sure the council is aware that approving this, just know that the pier will be shut down since what, from
10 in the
10 in the
morning,
morning till
8 p.m., 9 p.m.
8, 9 p.m. and 9
p.m.
p.m.
that Saturday. So just be aware of that, because in years past, we always get the boaters and the fishermen who end up complaining, so.
Well, it's a 2-day event, right, Ryan? According to this paperwork, the resolution?
The boxing, so it's part of the Fired Up for Summer kickoff. The boxing event is Saturday from 4 to 8, but we're also, on Friday, it's we have our hose races right in that vicinity, and then also we'll have live entertainment as well Friday night.
Okay, so it says on here June 9th and 10th.
So it's part of the Fired Up for Summer kickoff
Okay.
event.
Okay, any other questions? Now let's move on to new business.
None, sir?
Okay, can I have a motion to enter into executive to discuss proposed pending or current litigation, and also the medical, financial, credit, employment history of a particular person or corporation leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or suspension?
Second.
Okay, I got a motion by Stoyl and a second by Nichols.
Councilmember Lescoviac,
Aye.
Councilmember Demonto, Councilmember Stoyl, Councilmember Nichols.
Council good? It's called to order the regular meeting for April 4th, 2023. It is 5:58 PM. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Here.
Councilmember Babanto.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, certification of the prior meeting.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, March 21st, 2023 was presented to the mayor on Monday, March 27th, 2023, pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter. All items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof, I have here to set my hand and the seal of the city of Dunkirk, New York, this 4th day of April, 2023.
Okay, can I get a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented?
So moved.
I got Nichols, seconded by Bomano.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Babanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Reading of the privilege of the floor regulations.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing for themselves, in which case that individual shall be limited to 3 minutes, and to any person representing a group who shall be limited to 5 minutes. When recognized, please stand and state your name and address. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining these time limits, and the councilman at large may determine in his discretion whether individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups. Councilman at large D'Amico shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste, are slanderous or non-germane to any action taken or contemplated by council. The time limit specified shall be strictly adhered to, except that a speaker may be allowed to complete a statement or thought started before such time has expired.
Okay, privilege of the floor is now open. Anyone like to speak? Please state your name and address.
I'm Gary Settlemeyer, 150 West 5th Street. I'd like to make references on the proposed site for the Brooks Hospital. It makes no sense to spend $10 million for sewer water connections when we have it right here at Brooks Hospital. It's a huge waste of money. There is no parking on Route 20. I'm an ex-firefighter, and I was served on the rescue squad for assistance. If there's ever a 1013 on Route 20 in the roundabout, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to happen eventually. Build a new hospital in Dunkirk at the present site. The existing hospital has for extra services. There's plenty of room for parking. The old hospital, I agree, it's cheaper normally to rebuild than to try to refabricate a building. But there are parts of the hospital, say for x-rays and stuff, you could still utilize that building and build a new building. What are other sites in Dunkirk that were deemed unacceptable to build a hospital? There was never a public informed. Whose decision was this? And getting off the subject a little bit, but personally, I think the village of Fredonia has been very selfish. They want the hospital. They've always seemed to have their own way. I still think right where Brooks' existing hospital is the best place to have it by far. There's water and sewer hookups, a minimum cost to get it trenched and get the hookups for everything. And you still have a hospital to use. I think that'd be the best site for it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Hello, please state your name and address.
Paul Sommerfeld, Brooks Avenue, Dunkirk, New York, speaking for the Citizens Advisory Committee. I don't know who to report this to because I don't know whose control it is, but for about a week or two there's been a sign, one of those little signs with the metal posts that stick in the ground to hold it up on the boulevarded area in front of Pizza Village. And I thought that in the right of way you weren't supposed to have those kind of signs. We also have a concern about the agenda and supporting documents not being posted on the website in sufficient time for residents of the city to view and decide whether they should make a comment on it. And the last I checked, the agenda for the last meeting wasn't posted yet. It was posted for tonight's, but not for the last meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak publicly? Going once, twice, 3 times. Floor is now closed. Communication from the mayor, including disapproval messages.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to clear up any confusion that the press release on the water that came out this week may have caused. The reason for the press release was basically responding to comments that were printed in the local paper, which came out of the Fredonia board meeting. Those comments indicated that the city of Dunkirk was unable to provide water to the village, and those comments were wrong. They were not accurate, so I wanted to correct that information. I wanted the public to be informed that the city of Dunkirk is ready and able and willing to provide water to the village of Fredonia. This in no way, shape, or form was meant to create any havoc or animosity as far as relationships with the village. I believe the city enjoys a very good relationship with the village of Fredonia. I have both a professional and a personal relationship with the current mayor, and it was never our intention to create, again, waves with that relationship. It was basically to put out the proper and accurate information about the city's ability to provide water to the village of Fredonia. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Communication from the public and petitions, number 1.
Request from John Toffel on behalf of the First Ward Falcon Club to close South Servo Street between Lakeshore Drive East and Chestnut Street on Saturday, September 2nd, 2023, and Sunday, September 3rd, 2023, from 6 p.m. to midnight for their annual Labor Day street dance.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, can I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions? I got Bomano with a second by Nichols.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. 2.
Loudspeaker permit request from John Toffel on behalf of the First Ward Falcon Club to use sound system for live bands on Saturday, September 2nd, 2023, and Sunday, September 3rd, 2023, from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. for their annual Labor Day street dance.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, can I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions? Got a motion by Luskowiak and seconded by Nichols.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number 3, loudspeaker permit request from Maddie Whites on behalf of the Alzheimer's Association Western New York chapter to use speaker system with microphone at the Brooks Pavilion at Point Gratiot Park on Saturday, September 23rd, 2023, from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. for their Walk to End Alzheimer's event.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, can I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions?
So moved.
I have Nichols, can I have a second? Seconded by Luskowiak.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number 4, loudspeaker permit request from Lou Pochetti on behalf of the Dunkirk Lakeside Club to use sound system for live bands on May 1st, 2023 to November 20th, 2023 from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, could I have a motion to refer to the
moved.
appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions? I have a motion by Stoyl, seconded by Bomano.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number 5, loudspeaker permit request from Michael McCarthy on behalf of the class of 1978 to use sound system for live entertainment at Cook's Pavilion at Point Gratiot Park on Saturday, July 1st, 2023, from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. for their 45th DHS class reunion.
Any discussion, council? Again, hearing none, can I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well approved subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions?
So moved.
Nichols, seconded by Leskoviac.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl. Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilwoman Leskoviac.
Yes, I wanted to answer Mr. Sotomayor, who isn't here anymore. I wish he would have stayed, but I just wanted to let him know I agreed with everything he had to say, and I am, my prediction is the usual audacity of the board of that hospital will end up being the demise. But anyways, I wanted to let everyone know about the rehab that's begun at the Point, at the Fireman's Pavilion part of the Point, which is the first entry to the right when you enter the Point. It's utilizing CDBG funds, and the work is out for the bidding process. The area has been cleared with the old pavilion gone. A new pavilion will be built on new cement ground and also a path to the restrooms. So I know people will be happy about that. And yes, this will be completed by June of this year, and as it is already being booked. And Thursday, April 20th at 3:30 is the grand press release regarding our summer event schedule, and it'll be at the boardwalk. Everyone is invited. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bomano.
Yes, just a couple of questions for Randy. I noticed there's some work being done on Eagle Street and Fifth Street in the road there near the middle school and on the sidewalks. Can you give us an update what's going on there?
Sure. National Fuel Gas is reconstructing gas lines throughout the city. This is a continuation of the project they've been doing for a number of years. The old steel lines are pretty much rotted out. They're replacing them with plastic fused together, and they're also making sure the meters are on the outside of houses, so it's part of that project.
All right, and the same question for Brigham Road, from 4th Street all the way up to 2nd Street. I got some calls from parents about their kids walking to school there. It's on the sidewalk there. They got the big iron covers and a couple cones are around them, but they just had that concern.
Yeah, same company, and when you see stuff like that, call me up, and I'll have a good contact with National Fuel, get along with them great, and I can ask them to barricade a little bit differently.
Okay, thank you, Randy. And I want to wish everyone a happy Easter. Be safe.
Thank you. Councilman Stoyl.
Nothing right now.
Thank you. Councilwoman Nichols.
Yes, so we have some exciting, some people will say it's not exciting, but the city is now collecting glass. There are bins that are on Lucas Avenue that are clearly marked to deposit your glass items. They are not to be mixed with plastic, cardboard, or metal. Right now, I think Mr. Woodbury has a plan for curbside pickup of glass. Would you like to explain that?
Sure. Let me reiterate that when we do the commingled recycling, which is our most efficient way of doing that, we can't accept glass within cardboard and plastic, or the entire load is rejected. And instead of paying $30 per ton at the landfill, which you don't want to put recycling material in anyhow, we would pay something like $90 per ton at a Buffalo facility if they reject the load. And it would go get buried and not be recycled. So keep the glass out of your otherwise commingled recycling. It gets to the landfill anyhow. What glass happens in Chautauqua County is, rather than be recycled, it gets downcycled. Instead of being made into glass for other bottles, it's being used for ballast at the landfill. It saves them money on rock, and it works just as well. And it gets buried. So the landfill will take our glass at no cost. So if you separate your glass, it'll save us tipping fee money, and it'll help the environment by putting it back to use in another way. Because actually, environmentally, it's less expensive to melt sand, which is what glass is, than it is to do a bottle. It's really difficult to recycle glass. Very fussy about colors and things like that. So what Chautauqua County's done is enable us to recycle glass or downcycle it at no cost. We're going to do curbside pickup on that. It's an EPA suggestion. It was probably more than a suggestion. But we're going to do it on bulk pickup days, and we're going to do a press release. Our first day will be April 17th. We'll tell which, we can't do the whole city, but we can do different districts. And once every other month, you can put your glass out on a special day, not with the rest of the recycling. We'll pick it up curbside, but if you want to take it to the recycling center on Lucas Avenue ahead of that, plenty of room, plenty of space to do that. So nice new program. Thanks for bringing it up.
Thank you. But just remember to watch for the bins. I believe they're toward the back of the building, and they are clearly marked for glass only. With this crazy weather we've been having, you'd think we lived in Chicago or something with the high winds and everything, and the branches are, and we should be pleased that our residents are piling their branches out at the curb, but brush collection does not begin until next month. And I know next month is going to be crazy with our streets guys trying to get potholes filled and everything else. And I was just wondering if our streets guys could at least make a little head start on getting some of the piles of limbs and branches that people have been putting out, residents have been putting out at the curb. There's quite a bit of, as I drive through the city, they're really very, very neat and tidy on it, but I guess we're supposed to have another windstorm again tomorrow, and more branches will come down, and I don't know if you have a view on that, Randy, or not.
Sure. We always addressed windfall. The brush pickup that's scheduled is for people who maintain their yards and do yard waste. And they can either put that out as scheduled on the recycling calendar, which is, like you said, begins in May, and we do another one in September, where we'll come to your house and pick it up. Otherwise, you can take it to the street division during Monday through Saturday and drop it off in our pile, and it gets mulched and it gets recycled in that way. But for anything that's a windfall or stormfall, immediately put it out to your curb. We'll come by and get it. And so storm-related material, we'll come and get.
So they could call either 366-4411 or 366-9832 and let each or either number know that they do have that out at the curb?
Yeah, that would be one way to do it, or put it out. I mean, if we get another 60, 70 mile an hour wind, we're unfortunately going to have more windfall. So put the windfall out right away. You don't have to wait till the calendar to put windfall out.
Thank you. Chief Ortolano, do you want to do another brief reminder on the alternate parking?
Sure. We started the alternate parking on Sunday. It goes from daily to weekly, depending on whether it's an odd or even day on that Sunday. We do some warning tags for a few days, and then we'll start writing tickets. And just remind everyone that proper parking helps us keep roads clear for emergency vehicles, and also lets DPW do road maintenance.
Thank you, Chief. That's it.
Thank you. What I'd like to address here real quick, City Attorney Bob Seen, can you just address Mr. Sommerfeld's concerns about some of the website content and that some of the plans that you and I have discussed try to be moving forward?
Yes, thank you, Mr. D'Amico. Yeah, so the effort is going to be made just to be sure that we have the information that you've requested on the website. Obviously, we see that as beneficial to everyone. I think I would just ask people to bear with us a little bit. We just lost one of our folks in the clerk's office, and that's kind of a big loss. We're trying to fill that in, but we're going to do the best we can to make sure that there's as much public information as the public would ever desire.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, let's move on to unfinished business.
None, sir.
Pre-filed resolution number 19.
Resolution authorizing coastal landscape study for nature-based solutions.
Any discussion, council?
Yes, Councilman. I would like Vince just to give a brief overlay of what this resolution is meaning for the city of Dunkirk.
Yes, what this resolution will do is authorize the use of the New York Sea grant that we were able to secured last fall for $50,000 to begin the engineering and design for breakwaters that are designed to address the destructive forces of wave energy coming and hitting the pier and bouncing off and destroying docks and damaging boats, and also the sedimentation that comes with that wave energy. So we're going to be engaging Proof Projects, LLC, and their engineering firm to begin the design and engineering to build the breakwaters, in which Senator Schumer was able to put $4.75 million into this year's budget, federal budget, to actually do the construction of breakwaters. But we need to know what we're designing and engineering before we get to that process, and that's what this does. And basically, it's no local taxpayer money; it's all grant money that we've been able to cobble together with collaboration with county agencies and departments.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nothing else? No. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number 20, resolution authorizing 2XL youth boxing competition during Fired Up for Summer celebration.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
No
Number 10, new business, none?
Wait,
Yep.
I got a question for Randy. When can we expect to see Lakefront Boulevard open again?
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with Deputy Director Provichin about this yesterday. They've still got some work to do cleaning up some of the areas of the roadway down there and getting it ready, but we're hoping within the next week or so.
Thank you, Chief.
Anything else under new? Okay, if not, can I have a motion for adjournment? I have Nichols, can I have a second? Second by Bomano.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, we're adjourned.
Marty, I hope you find your
I got that list up in my office.